Welcome to Lesson 4, Negatives and Negative Numbers. This lesson explores negative numbers, their relationships on the number line, and the specific rules required for calculating with them. Understanding these principles is essential for managing real-world concepts like debt and temperature. Definition and the number line. Negative numbers are those values less than zero, and they are always written with a minus sign. In contrast, positive numbers are those greater than zero. Zero itself is the central point on the number line. It is neither positive nor negative. When visualizing this on a number line, values decrease as you move to the left and increase as you move to the right. The sequence looks like this: -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Absolute value. Absolute value is a way of describing the distance a number is from zero, regardless of which direction it is in. We use two vertical bars as the symbol for absolute value. Because it measures distance, the result is always a positive number. For example, the absolute value of -5 is 5, and the absolute value of 7 is 7. Key operations: addition and subtraction. We will now examine the main operations involving negative numbers. Understanding the sign rules is the most important part of this process. First, let's look at addition. The approach to adding depends on whether the numbers have the same or different signs. Same signs. If the signs are the same, simply add the magnitudes together and keep that sign. For example, -3 plus -7 equals -10. Different signs. If the signs are different, you must subtract the smaller magnitude from the larger one. The result then takes the sign of the larger magnitude. For example, -8 plus 5 equals -3. Next, let's address subtraction. Subtraction is best understood as the addition of the opposite. This means when you see a subtraction sign, you can change it to an addition sign and flip the sign of the following number. Example 1. 5 minus -3 becomes 5 plus 3, which equals 8. Example 2. -7 minus 4 becomes -7 plus -4, which equals -11. Multiplication and division. Multiplication and division follow a very consistent and simple set of rules for signs. Same signs. When you multiply or divide two numbers with the same sign, the result is always positive. A positive times a positive is positive, and a negative times a negative is also positive. For example, -3 times -4 equals 12. Different signs. When the signs are different, the result is always negative. For example, 6 times -5 equals -30, and -8 divided by 2 equals -4. Now let's look at the real-world applications of negative numbers. Negative numbers help us describe specific scenarios in daily life. Temperature. If the temperature is -5 degrees Celsius and it drops another 3 degrees, the calculation is -5 minus 3, which equals -8 degrees. Finance. Debt is a negative value. If you have a debt of $50 and add another debt of $20, your total financial position is -$70. Elevation. Locations below sea level are represented as negative numbers, such as a cave that is 10 meters below sea level being written as -10 meters. This section is the exercise module, questions 1 to 10. It is time to put these rules into practice. Let's start with these first 4 challenges. Question 1. What is -5 plus 12? Question 2. What is -8 minus 15? Question 3. What is 7 times -3? Question 4. What is -24 divided by 6? We strongly encourage you to continue through the rest of the module, from question 5 to question 10, and check the link in the bio to master your confidence with negative signs. Summary. In summary, negative numbers are integers less than zero. Absolute value represents a number's distance from zero. While addition and subtraction depend on comparing signs, multiplication and division follow strict pairing rules. These concepts are used every day to track temperature, debt, and elevation. You've now conquered negative numbers and the rules that govern them. You can now accurately describe drops in temperature and manage financial debts with confidence. However, we have one final piece of the puzzle to solve. We have dealt with whole numbers and fractions, but how do we handle numbers that use a point to show parts of a whole, like the change in your pocket or the precise measurements in a lab? Our final lesson in this series, Lesson 5, Decimals, will tie all these concepts together. It is the perfect way to conclude our 5-day launch and ensure you have a complete foundation in arithmetic.